Thanks, Benjamin. I don't know if you can hear me, but I kind of want to rearrange it a little bit right now. I just figured I'd play a little bit before because everything's all set up. So, yeah. or yes. I have, I mean, I was just reprogrammed some of the same songs I've done earlier onto the Apex, but I'm starting to get a feel for this whole thing. But I got a new module, the muscle, and yeah, so I figured we could probably play some music or rearrange or do some combination of both, because not all of my instruments will be pulled apart. Yeah, is that something y'all want to see? Like, because I'm just probably going to rearrange mostly the top row here, and walk through some of my reasoning and some of the modules if you're curious. Yeah, so let me know in the chat. In the meantime, yeah, this tape isn't really a tape delay unless you consider like a 6-second loop a delay. It runs a 6-second loop, and right now I've recorded a bunch of, I think, beautiful static into it, like radio noise, and so I have 6 seconds of static basically, and then this knob controls the speed, so essentially pitch, right? Between that and yeah, it's just a really nice hat, I think, or almost like a open hat sometimes, depending on how you do it. But the reason I recorded static in instead of playing static is so I didn't accidentally like tune into a radio station and get us some more copyright points. Yeah, I don't know. So what do you think? More music or what? Or replace top row? I think I want to rearrange the voices I have right now a little bit. While it is all set up, you can see I'm not completely crazy with my positioning of the MIDI. I think some folks were like, oh, MIDI jacks are huge and they're in the way. But like, they're not like that big. So that's not really a concern of mine. But the position of where the cables are distributed. So a lot of these go to the drums. So if we just go horizontally like this, I'll have some shorter, more appropriate length cables, but I actually I'm running out of cables doing this Eurorack thing, because most of my stuff is 1/4 inch. But my plan is to have 2 voices up here somewhere, maybe 3, because really the Manus Iteratus is its own voice on its own, or can be. It's got a filter and envelope and everything on there, so all it really needs is a gate and pitch. So my point is there's going to be 3 voices up here. I have 2 envelope generators, the Javelin here, there's one over here, and those positions won't change too much. They'll be a little bit, I think I'll move the Javelin a bit over here, but the pitch goes up to here. The gate currently is going over the Javelin, but that'll be a little more straightforward. And then these 2 sort of mult attenuators and pitch octave shifters will sort of handle that stuff. And then to get to that other side where I've got another voice maybe over here, I've got a little teleporter here so I can run the cables down here. And again, all those cables running aren't going to really cover any important controls that I'm after. I mean, there's some exceptions to this, like obviously this cable's a little bit too long, so it ends up getting caught sort of in the mix, and I can just pull that out, make it a little bit better by doing this horrible thing. But yeah, not too bad. I don't know, is anyone still with me? Can you hear me at all? Let's see, testing 1, 2, 3. I think you probably can hear me. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, so on this latest patch, I was mostly, like, it's a pretty solid drum patch. I'm getting sort of data, the start of data being patched the way I want it. Although, not as cool as data the person, musician. Anyway, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, I largely was testing the MA35 MS10 filter, which I think sounds nearly indistinguishable from my MS10. I have a little bit of tuning to do to get it almost identical. Like I can get it pretty dang close. I just need to adjust the resonance a tad. But other than that, it is sounding good. Like this is, we can do it even side by side comparison. Let's see here. We'll start with just this. Alright, so that's that. Now I'm going to go to MS10. Just a second. To unmute it. Okay, now we're on MS10. Now we're not. MS10. So, like, yeah, you can hear I have a little bit more drive happening because there's a little bit of overdrive on here if I want. How much have I used maths? Embarrassingly little. The things I primarily use it for are when I'm out of envelopes, I'll use it as an attack decay envelope. For example, I only have I have 3 VCAs in here right now, but the plan is just for 2. Beyond some of these models have built in. But I'm just going to have the 2 javelins instead of the peaks. And so when I run out of those, like I inevitably can make a 3rd or 4th voice. That's when I'll bring the maths in as envelopes. Beyond that, I've used it for LFOs. Like I use it a lot for LFOs, but with the Oct, I use it a little bit less because most of the LFOs I use, I'm quite happy with them being basic. I use the middle row quite often, actually on the Crater. Like if I start drum sequence real quick, just a second, mute drum sequence, let's do this one. Make sure there's no effects. Okay, so I've got the Crater here. It's actually got a saturation input, and that'll go higher than like it's sort of saturation on its own. So what I'll do is I'll like drop this down to like okay 3. So just listen for the drum. So that can go a bit higher than the controls on the module, which is why I like maths, because you can offset the voltage a little bit one way or the other. So that's primarily what I use it for. Yeah, the saturation, like it's already got some saturation, so you can hear the distortion. This is like the most distortion you can get without using maths to push it a little bit further. So if I go back to 3, which should bump that up a little bit. Like it gets pretty thick pretty quick. So, and that's kind of a good tip just in general to some of these modules. Actually, you can just leave things running, I guess. I don't know if you can hear me over it, but I assume so. A lot of these modules, or I've found, the CV allows for modifying or attenuating the control or whatever beyond what the panel allows. So pretty cool. Sometimes on reverbs and stuff, you can go way into like gnarly space. Let's see. Oh, I forgot to hook up the freeze. The freeze is pretty cool, actually. I'm just getting them out of like short cables at this point. I mostly have long cables because with Cosmo, I only needed long cables, I guess. So if I go into U, and then out of U into, like, look at this cable. Beautiful cable. I'm about to order some more so I don't have this issue. Go out of this into, I actually did this with actual aux before, but let's see. Let's just do channel 1. And we shouldn't hear any difference yet because we need to go ahead and set some triggers for the freeze. It's kind of a fun effect. I guess I can do it manually. But basically, if I send a few of these layers through to the aux as well, oh, because I didn't put it in the right spot. Oh, that's what I did before. Sorry, let me do this again. So I want to pull it back into sure 6, I guess. Anyway, it's a fun effect when I program it right. So that's why freeze is there. Nobody asked, but that's what I was thinking. Look, she's doing Euro rec now. Yep. I wanted a compact system that I could bring places, and well, I have brought Cosmo other places, but it means bringing a lot of stuff. So with this, I can bring pretty much this, one of my Cosmo cases, maybe 2, and the hot box, and I'm good. That was sort of my reasoning. And it opens up the ability to play with some of these modules I haven't had access to. Yeah, tiny Cosmo. Up here will be 2 oscillators, not this. It's just place holding. And obviously low. Alright, should I get to it? I actually really like the sound of the tape. Let me go into that sequence. Just add a bunch of that. Alright, now what I have to do is really painful and loosen like 1,000 knurlies. Now, knurlies are great because you don't need a screwdriver unless they're so close to the lip here that you can't actually get a grip on. So, screwdriver. Actually, I'm going to leave those 2 in place. Never mind. Yeah, not all of my modules need to move. Let me see what I'm planning. Okay, yeah. This needs to move. The 100 grit, well, very cool. Not as wild as I was hoping. I feel like they could have upped the chaos factor a little bit. That's okay. I knew what I was getting when I ordered it. And actually, I think that goes for most Eurorack modules. Like, they're sort of designed to be really pleasant, which isn't necessarily what I'm after. There's a few exceptions, like the Erica Fusion VCO, and it's VCF over here. Those things, they're gnarly. The VCF doesn't have quite the resonance sound that I like, but the combination overdrive or running things through dual filters more than makes up for it. Sorry, you're just getting like hairy arm shots. The tape thing is the Error Instruments Loopman, and it's not a tape delay unless, I mean, it's like a 6-second tape delay if you're recording or something, but not really a tape delay. It just allows you to play back whatever's on your tape loop. But despite being one of the coolest looking modules, kind of like the Mordax data module, not a lot of utility outside of an oversized snare in my case, which isn't bad. That's fine with me. And the weird thing about it is when I leave it running, well, it like makes a noise because it's a tape player, right? With the humming of the motor. And I'll forget, so let's unplug some of these cables. Oh, we're already losing some stuff. That's okay. That's my favorite part about Eurorack, actually. It's like easy to pull the cables. Mordax data is lame. I would agree with, I mean, I just wanted it for visualization when I don't want to bring my huge oscilloscope with me. When I get to the point where I'm out of rack space and would rather have, I don't know, extra whatever there, I will probably replace it. Not attached. Is okay. I don't think Mass is lame. I think it is really good. There are a lot of other similar modules that are in the same neighborhood that I think folks may or may not like better. I don't know. But I like Mass. It's not something I go for when I need like a actually, this is probably not a great thing to say, but when I need like a reliable VCA that's like really predictable, I don't touch Maths. If I'm doing more, if I want to spend more time on actual sound design, sure, I can use Maths, but sometimes I just want to get a voice out quick and know exactly what it's going to sound like. Really, so far I'm liking the Javelin. I wish there was a way to, I might have missed it, but there's no button to like turn it on, like manually trigger it. And right now we're hearing are the drums from, all the drums that I've been playing today are from this case, which is kind of the whole point of this case. Don't have to bring my drum brute anywhere, and yeah, pretty fun. Oh jeez, this is like so hard to unscrew. Another thing I want to talk about a little bit is the layout, because this is something that I think is really funny. I wanted the tape cassette actually up here somewhere, because I was sort of thinking drum section kind of over here in a corner. But the cassette, like, you actually have to push the buttons on the top, and if it's tucked right up on top, there wasn't room for me to like hit the buttons. Here, let's turn the volume up on that. I think it's which one are you, buddy? Clearly I don't have this layout as memorized as my other stuff, but whatever. Oh. This MA35. This is like 90% of of an MS-10. Pretty cool. Alright, this part sucks. I guess I could switch to different parts. There we go. I don't know if you can hear me or not, but whatever, it's fine. What was I doing? Alright. Yes, well, here's the thing. When I bring the drum brew impact, it means I've got to bring the power supply, a MIDI cable, etc. Like, it's not all pre-wired. This is like, all I have to do is plug the power in and a MIDI cable from this to that. I don't have a MIDI splitter or anything to worry about. I also don't have to bring like a case to put my Apex, MIDI splitter, drum machine, microfreak, etc. all in one giant thing. I may get one of those MIDI controlled polyphonic modules at some point, not to replace the microfreak, but when I'm out of the room, it might be handy to have some chords. But not worried about that yet. I think some of the stuff I'm looking at might get more too. Come on, it's so slow. It takes forever to unscrew knurlies when you're going like a quarter of a spin at a time. Alright, that's like most of them, I think. Yeah, so that like snare hit is a combination of Kraken and then the tape. Alright, what was I gonna do? Lost my train of thought. Right, okay, first things first, this mix gotta go. So let's pull this one out of here. The reason I'm pulling the mix out, 2HP mix, even though I think it's a good idea, I don't think I actually really need it, because this filter and this filter both have, well, this filter has two inputs, and a built-in mixer. This has an extra input. This has, I have other ways of mixing multiple voices together. So I don't know how much use it's going to get right here. Yeah. So my primary use case is probably going to be two oscillators here, both going into the same filter, and then on occasion popping them into the trash master to ameliorate the sound further. Okay, so pull you. I do want to talk about 2HP modules briefly. Really good, But I don't like that they're using these like, I don't know if you can see that, these little connectors here and nothing else to attach the PCB. So like if the cable is pulling it from behind one direction or another, it can get loose. I haven't run into issues much yet, but I don't know, I'm always like having to tighten them. Conversation about hot swapping modules, that would be great right now. Sort of doing that. Oh yeah, except for this bad boy uses a actually I don't think this one's moving, is it? Let me double check. Yeah, good thing I checked. What I'm moving is this one. So let's pull you. Don't use this video as a reference to how to change modules. The bad stuff will happen, probably. How is this supposed to fit in here, actually? There's something else that has to go. I don't remember. Let's just pull you up a little bit so I have a little bit more room. Alright, 12 volt. Okay. Alright, it's lining up, which means it's probably not broken. Cool. Room temperature tape. I mean, I agree with you, Forrestine. I think maths is fine. Alright, what did I remove? I don't know, I'm just gonna start putting some modules. So I don't think I had you different spots. Oh no, on modular grid, I accidentally, okay, so sometimes on modular grid, I don't know if this happens to you, but when I'm rearranging stuff, here, let's switch over to different rooms. That way I can turn this off. But sometimes when you're moving stuff around, they like hide behind each other or get deleted or something. And that bothers the crap out of me. But in this case, I think this little buddy got deleted off of my top row. I'm double checking. We're good. I remember what I pulled. I don't need the muted Jovis up here because I'm not really using it for anything. Alright, pulling modules out stinks. You know what? Let's just pull everything. Alright. I think this one's probably going to stay. This Javelin's moving to different spots. Trash master. Just sliding over this way. Right. So the muscle's not going there. I'm just an idiot. The Javelin is. And just double check, yeah. The Javelin will be here, kind of like that. And this. And this is so, when I want to pull voices from MIDI, I can just go straight up. Gate would go straight up into Javelin. That's pretty tidy, like not covering anything. It's great. A lot of stuff goes out of the Javelin, so I'll have a really short cable go from like the envelope into this quad attenuator / mult, primarily to mult it. The attenuator's handy. They're not super performable because these knobs are like, my finger hits the other knob. in like a quarter turn or something, so not the best, unless I grab it just lucky enough. But anyway, I can distribute that out to like PWM, filter, some other things here and there. And then, yeah, pretty good. So that's there. What else? What's next? Yes, this friend. Oh no, I'm missing a filter. Hold on. Where are you, buddy? Might be in my other case. Oh, it is. Yeah, hold on. Turn the volume down. Anyway, I almost forgot a filter here. Very important one is going to be right here. Then we'll have an entropy, which I don't currently own, so that'll just have to be a gap. To space it out properly. This is another thing about Eurorack that I didn't anticipate, is like modules needing to be perpendicular to rails. I thought it would be easier, but they have enough play. You can like put a module in like this and then they're all sort of crooked. So I don't know. Anyway, this would be like right here, I think, but the actual entropy. And the muscle, that's what I'm going to. And grit. Yeah, I kind of wanted the muscle in the middle. It's not a great spot for it because it's far away from the mixer, but it does mean that I can pull in any of the voices into it pretty easily. So yeah, it is what it is. I do have a teleport here. I could put the muscle to the right and teleport over to the muscle. On a scale of 1 to super performable, how performable is the muscle? Like, am I going to be cranking this a lot, or is this like a set and forget thing? I don't know. That's something to think about for a second. I'm going to keep rearranging. Grit. My friend, you are moving over here. And then I believe this is one. Yeah. See, modular grid makes it faster, even though it is a lot of theory crafting. What all I gotta do is imagine what a patch code is like. Move the mixer to the center. I kind of like that idea. I mean, I have nothing going here, so I could try that. I kind of have the mixer over here because there's the effects that have all the stereo cables, which are kind of gnarly. I'm using data essentially as an extension adapter right now, so everything goes here and then over here. So that's why it's here, but not be a bad idea to move it. We'll see. All right, what's next? Okay, cool. So Synctifero, really happy with this module as a quad, as a mult/quad attenuator. Javelin. Then the other thing I needed? Did I forget it somewhere? Yeah, I'm looking for Quant Gemini. Where did I put you? Here? Yeah. Okay. Something's not right here. Don't know what yet. Oh, I know what the problem is. My blank is too big over here. That's yeah. I'm gonna pull blank. That's like a good idea. I kind of like it. Okay. Well, I have no idea how to pick up a blank. I have screwdriver. Just gotta hook it. Alright. Ipsum. How could I not get that? Okay, so now everything needs to move over just a little bit. Not bad. Now I have room for my module that I've lost already. Oh, here we go. Want Gemini. And I think I want them in this order. Is that right? Yes. It's a mirror of, so these three are the same as these three over here, but in mirror order. I wonder if that would mess me up, or if I should. I mean, I know as far as cables, this is a better layout, but we'll try that first and see if I get confused. I think it's just swapping the VCOs. The Maniciteritas is an interesting creature because I have a hard time classifying it as an oscillator. You can use it as an oscillator, but it's like a full-on synth voice, which I don't know if I like better or worse than that, but it's handy. It's good to have reverse module sets, etc. Okay, so right now, I pretty much have some stuff spaced out. Like Peaks is temporarily there. Did not really enjoy that module. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not for me as far as my preference for envelope generators go. We're connected. Okay. So the next step is you make sure everything's connected. There we go, a little more mellow. Yeah, what was I don't even remember what I was saying. Because Eurorack is so teeny tiny, like, you can see, like, my hand barely fits in this math-sized hole. So, it's better to do this first before I mess with any of the okay. Ooh, see, look, upside down. Let's go the other way. And then the boring part will be putting the screws in. I'm not going to do that on camera, but I don't know. I just figured there wasn't like a lot of footage of people putting cases together outside of handful of like, here's how to do this, YouTube people. So we're doing it live. Hit me up if you have any questions. Keyed headers are the best. Please do not look at the color choices of my cables in relation, like, don't use that as a guide for how to plug in your cables. Please, mine are backwards because I made them all. I thought the black stripe naively made the most sense for -12 because the red stripe wasn't at the top. There's like a brown cable above it, but I've been informed I did it backwards. So all of my 100 cables or whatever are backwards. God, I can't see shit. And the way I tend to plug these in is thinking about future modules. Like this VCO is pretty big, so I'll leave a few gaps on the bus board around it in case I replace it with a couple of modules. Move the mixer to this. Yeah, I don't know about the mixer to the center thing yet. I'm not against it. It's just like my instinct is to reach to the right when I'm mixing stuff, and that's just because of how my current mixers are. But that would be a really easy thing to test because it requires moving only one module right now. Okay, so we've got that all the way I like. And again, here's the teleport, so I can go out of the MIDI or the Metron into this teleporter out here and then populate this stuff. So pretty handy. Might save this one for last because this is like the biggest module. Let's see. You're just a regular sized friend. Okay. Another pro tip, save that for last. I mean, if you have holes in your case, you can do things like reach your arm under and like finagle stuff around, but not the best, in my opinion. I think this will reach, yeah, easy peasy, cool. So muscles taken care of. Now entropy won't be plugged in, I'm gonna use it as a spacer. These can be connected differently. Okay. Yeah, look at this is the DivKid Oct, and there's like, I don't know, 2 maybe expanders or something to hack on there in the power. It was worth double checking. Typically on modules that have power like structures, they say not power in all caps because they've done enough support. Alright, Trash Master. You're already plugged in. Let's just kind of move it over a little bit. Let's move this over too a little bit. Yeah. You can go over here. I like the sound of the Trash Master, by the way. No pass is passive. Despite how good it sounds, passive module. Yeah. Sync the Pharaoh. These in. That's already plugged in. Gosh, these are ready to go. Okay, this VCF. All right. And I actually painstakingly counted out. Let's see here. Love a good keyed header. I counted out the sliding nuts, or I don't know what you call it. These are just regular nuts. I don't know. Counted out the nuts that are evenly distributed, but I don't know how long that's gonna last. All right, I'm gonna turn on. Hopefully, no magic smoke, just a lot of lights. A lot of light. Actually, I think I was surprised by the 100 grit. It's kind of cool because these are just like bolt posts, a 3D printed sort of coaster, and then just on the end of these fixed posts, they put little brass ball caps. Anyway, pretty cool design detail. Doesn't really come across as clear in the demos I watched. Alright, so we got here is one voice that starts from here and sort of ends here. And then a second voice that starts over here and ends here. There's 2 oscillators missing here, but it'll be a minute before I populate those because I'm waiting for just the right oscillators for Tiny Cosmo. Yeah. What else? Oh, another thing I want to complain about is that modules should turn on in the same state they turned off. So like the oscilloscope, for example, turns on to a menu, which isn't a big deal. It takes a few presses. I have to go settings, load, and there we go. I'm at 1. And then I have to go to the oscilloscope, and then I'm back where I was. But like, just start up in the same state you turned off. Come on. There are some exceptions to that, but whatever. Maths is like that too. I wish it would retain whether the cycle was active or not. Like if I was making a make noise box like East Coast synthesis, I'd use maths a lot more for weird stuff, but I don't. Anyway, now the fun part. Beam counting, screws. So who wants to play some music while I do this? Unless you want to hear something or try something while I do it, just let me know. I think I'll actually patch with some basic stuff. So 12 is still spitting out information, yeah. So let's go ahead and rig that up. Gate goes straight up to javelin, envelope. I need the teeniest, tiniest cables that I don't really have, but the envelope is going to go right here. It's a really short envelope. So you can kind of see it flashing a little bit. Then I need like I've already messaged by talk with him let's see what time it is. Anyway, we'll just use lines. That's a cable here to CV2. We need a voice. We're just going to use this one for now because I don't have other ones yet. Wait, not that one. This one. Ooh, that's so far. That's okay. The perfect length cable. This is temporary. Alright, I'm gonna go out to, let's do double filter, out to in here, out of the distortion, into the javelin. Teleport this down to here. And we should see something lighting up over here eventually, not quite yet. Because we need a higher pitch. Pitch information would normally just go straight up here, but I'm going to do this for now. Fast. Now what? What else did I need to do? Pitch is in. Do we have audio coming out yet? No idea. We're getting something. Nothing audible yet. What am I missing? We got gate, we got in, out. We don't have audio because there's no audio cables plugged into this. They're falling somewhere. I hear there. Now, what else am I missing? Filter's already open. Alright, let's simplify this just a tad. Just to make sure. Okay, so we're getting audio from that. We weren't getting anything from this. Don't know why yet. Looks like it's working now. Let's try adding key frequency season. Actually, let's talk reverb for a second. I don't play with reverb a lot because I don't think it's necessary unless you're using Spartan amount of voices, right? If you've got one voice, whether it's slow and evolving or sort of plinky, then reverb sounds really, really good. It makes that voice big. But when you've got like a lot of things happening, so 3 to 5 different things between drums and synths and stuff, I don't think it's necessary because it just adds mud in my opinion. If you're having problems mixing stuff, like it sounds too muddy, just turn off the reverb or delay. And reverb's just fast delay, right? Anyway, Hex thought of a minute. Completely unnecessary to run. This filter into that filter. Cool. That's another cool. So the volume module is cooler than I thought. There's LEDs in there, so when there's not something on both sides and there's voltage going through it, you'll see it light up, which is really helpful. You can see clock signal, clock signal, teleporters, pretty cool. Again, even though these cables are all the way around, the mess is sort of centralized for the most part. It's either going horizontal along these rows, which this won't be I can teleport that to where I'm just sure it's teleported. Whoa, something is way off. Oh, the detune. It's just the one oscillator. One thing I don't like about this is on the FM level, you can hear like, I don't know, I don't know what's happening there. Like, I don't think the FM should do anything other than attenuate the input signal, but whatever. Alright, I think that's about it. I'm pretty happy with this setup. I really like the quantum gem. I mean, I may replace this quantum gem because it's really good at quantizing and happens to be a mult, but I'm sort of thinking that it might not be necessary with this particular voice or this particular voice, because both have built-in 3-range octave switchers. So I think maybe now's the time to pull a Quant Gemini in favor of another 4 HP module, which I think I only have a couple of. Well, I just have Muta. Like maybe Muta is better. Because it's kind of near the mixer. I don't know. What do you think? Muta or Quant there? Leave it up to everybody else while I get a drink. The primary difference is Muta is pretty much what it says. It's mutes, but acts as a mult. So if I plug something in here, I can take that same signal, split it, because I think it's a buffered mult, into 4 signals. Great. Quant works the same way, except instead of mutes, like being on or off, it is pitch ranges. Like it's a pitch shifter. So it ups or probably adds or subtracts a volt. Yeah, so I don't know which one's better there. I'm thinking probably Muta, but I don't know what I would use it for, so maybe instead of that, maybe I pull Quant and Muta, and then I put another filter that's 4 HP in. But I don't have another filter yet. Anyway, I'm gonna, I think, cut the stream because it's about to get real tedious and curse wordy as I put in the screws. Yeah, I have lots of experimenting. I want to get to the point where I am with Cosmo, where I can really quickly sort of set up voices and get sounds I like. But this will obviously be a lot more playful when I'm not doing performances, like when I'm doing those kind of patches where I don't want to repeat anything, or I don't care if I repeat anything. So that'll be cool. I actually like the Metron for that. I have not saved a single sequence in the Metron, but I've made a lot of sequences so far, just because it's fun to make them. The Volterra is sort of a chaotic sequencer. Don't know that I love it for something like for sequencing, I don't know, a filter or something. It's pretty perfect. For sequencing like specific pitches, it's like a little tedious. Like if I wanted to make a melody that I was humming in my head, doing that on the Metron is a little tricky, because you sort of do it one note at a time, which isn't super performable. Now, the performable thing it can do that I really like is I can quickly, like, if I hit global and then I turn like one of these, I get my user grid. So I've got like 3 octaves. So like not user grid, my user quantized. Like it's quantized to a user scale. So I've got 3 octaves, and then it's quantized to just the notes that are blinking. And then when I use it, I mean, I can change that, but when I use it, it's really easy to, almost like an ARP generator. I can just quickly like scroll around and get something that sounds good for like really plinky 16th notes or whatever. Super good for that. So it's a fun setup. Happy with the drums. Maybe not the polar bear. Actually, I'm sort of waffling on the polar bear right now. I think maybe a sort of dedicated cymbals, hi-hat, clap sort of thing might be good. The Kraken is a phenomenal snare. Happy with all the kicks, even the llama kick. Actually, especially the llama kick. Cuts through a mix. Fractio is just a placeholder here. Probably get sold. So if you're looking for a clock divider, hit me up. Well, there's still a chance I might use it in my other case, but I'm thinking it's probably not necessary. So let's see, where's the heat coming from? Oh, Metron gets a little warm too. Data's pretty cool. Metron's warm. I don't think anybody should be, or not Metron, sorry, the performance mixer gets a little warm, not Metron. Yeah, Metron seems pretty cool. And the Javelins are a little bit warm, so Javelin's performance mixer, the hottest modules. Alright, have a good rest of your day. Someone make some music so I can jam while cursing on